The numbers told the story. They always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Hour number 2 of a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM Channel 158. Gill Alexander from San Francisco, or broadcasting from San Francisco anyway. Kelley Bydlon back at the Circus Studios. They're at Circa Resort Casino, the beautiful VSiN studios that look atop the world's largest sports book.
It was jammed here yesterday, Gill. I was here. I was here.
Yeah.
Real long work day for Kelley yesterday. I was here till like 12:30. Okay, so it was real long. But I left here yesterday. Wow. It was absolutely jammed in the sports book. I'm like, man, it's Monday. We have weird jobs, so I don't know how, like, if people take off the whole week, assuming they get Friday off, right? But I can't wait to see what it looks like here right after the show. We got Norway, the Josh Allen of the Premier League playing here at 10 o'clock Pacific time. I might just hang out for a couple hours.
Speaking of Erling Haaland, of course, Kelly's Josh Allen equivalent in the World Cup. Drew Dinsick is here to talk World Cup with us, Wimbledon. I don't know, maybe NBA trades. Definitely got to talk some seismology. We have seismology question requests for Drew Dinsick. He joins us now from the LBC, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter at whale_capper, the host of not one, but 2 podcasts. The Deep Dive with Andy Molitor, his co-host, and of course, NBC Sports Bet the Edge, which he does with Jay Croucher. Drew, good morning, sir.
How are you guys?
Doing very well. Let's get the Wimbledon plays out of the way first, because I don't want them to start here while you're talking. Sure. Anything left at the All England Club today for you?
Let me see. The start to the tennis tournament has gone well, except for Cerundolo crashing out in round 1. I did not have that on my bingo card. Let's see. On the men's side, I have the games over in Jiří Lehečka, Alexander Popyrin. That looks like the best match left on the card as far as entertainment purposes go. My numbers say that this is closer than the -400, +400 that you kind of see out there market wide. And I think in general, if you can find over 38.5 games, that's how I got in. But 39.5 is fine as well if that's all that's available to you. I think Ivelisse takes a set off of Diana Schneider. And ultimately, that's a 3-setter. I think that's going to be a super competitive match. And I don't have any action in this Serena Williams match, but my goodness gracious, with the amount of support the market is throwing behind Serena, I might have to get involved on the other side with Maya Joint here.
Yeah.
I don't know about this, man. I don't know about this.
I have no idea what we're about to see. Yeah. No idea.
No.
Let's just parlay it with Bosnia and be real true Americans, fellas. Maya Joint Bosnia.
Yeah.
There'll be a time and a place to fade the United States in soccer, but I don't think it's tomorrow.
Not the round of 32. I again have only two plays today. Oksana Selikmetova against Sonia Kraus as a slight dog, and then I'm on Elena Gabriela Rousset as a favorite, -141 favorite in her match against the American Katie McNally. Those are my only 2 plays for the day. I didn't love this card at Wimbledon. Anything else? We got to all of them, Drew. Those are the rest that you have.
I mean, Sinner's on sale. You want some Sinner?
On sale.
You can get some right now. What is this price? I mean, I know he went down yesterday. He took a tumble. There probably are some people that are a little concerned that he may have injured his groin. He certainly got a lot of coverage for the Kurt Schilling shoe. But I'm not really spooked by either of those things. I think the more important thing to take away from that match is that his serve and the timing on his serve is pretty much impeccable. And that as we go through this tournament, and what happens on center court is the grass dies over the course of the 2 weeks, right? Like they beat it up by playing tournament on it. And so week 2 of this tournament, like his serve's not going to, it's going to be coming off of the surface like this much, there's going to be no play to be had on that thing once we get into week 2 here. And he's going to be unbreakable in week 2. He obviously could be his own worst enemy with his fitness concerns, and the potential for injury is real. But my number on him is closer to -300 right now, and it's in the -160 range, which is banana land to me. Especially because no one else looks good. No, the men's side of the draw is just a who's who of out of form nonsense, and I'm not even really sure. Maybe point to Taylor Fritz as the only impressive performance of any of the players who were expected to do anything here this fortnight. He looked good today. Otherwise, it's been play your way into form across the board. So I really don't. Obviously could live to regret many bets I make on the men's outright market, but I think center right now is on sale.
You have just corroborated two of the things I said last segment. We did stage of elimination, and two of the players we did Sasha Zverev. I said quarterfinals against Taylor Fritz is the obvious sort of spot right for him. And then we did Jannik Sinner, and my response was there is none. There is no stage of elimination, right? Stage of elimination is sometime never. Okay. To the I would
keep an eye on stage of elimination for Jannik Sinner, like Roland Garros final, maybe
next year. Roland Garros final,
June, the early June 2027. I don't think this is hyperbole either. Like his numbers are so much better than every other man on tour. It's not even funny. And obviously, there are X factors that could take out these monster favorites, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
Stage of elimination is a heat wave. Let's put it that way. If that's an option, a stage of elimination is a horrible heat wave that will do him in. All right. The World Cup. No one enjoys this more than you do, man. Yesterday, Thierry Henry's comment was, what a day for football. Football won today. You agree with that?
I mean, Wimbledon was pretty good yesterday too, but football was awesome. I mean, honestly, this is such a joy to have this in the month of July. I know it's the end of June, but the fact that we get tennis all morning, all week, right into World Cup elimination football, bang, 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 is so good. And yesterday's matches were, you couldn't draw up more entertaining football, I don't think. The Brazil-Japan match was absolute fire. Japan, just such a good team to get such a difficult opponent in their first round. Another draw, they could have easily made it to the quarterfinals. But Brazil dispatches them and was, I thought, the rightful winner. The penalty kicks drama, the VAR overturn, which was extremely soft on Germany, but then leading to the drama we got in the penalty kicks was amazing. I'm sure people put this together, but the header that Ta scored in extra time was probably the best header goal of this tournament so far. It was such a good header. And then for him to be the GOAT on the other side that airmails the penalty kick when, he's never taken one. It's like, that's all the drama you could ever ask for. But the faces on the Japanese players when Brazil scored the deciding goal was just unbelievable. Just so emotional. And then the penalty kick drama at the end of both the other was just awesome. So you cannot beat this. It is so freaking good. I thought the expansion of the tournament was going to turn out to blow up in the face of FIFA, and we were all going to have a good laugh that they ruined the perfect thing. But forget about that. It has been awesome having more soccer and having more knockout matches. What was I thinking? We got 16 more knockout matches. Like this is better than having just 16, having 32.
And you know what?
Much better.
I kind of dug the whole Korea needs this to happen to get through.
Sure,
Iran needs this to happen to get through. So it ended up being all right. Yeah. Triple header today in the round of 32, Drew. Norway, Ivory Coast, France, Sweden, Mexico, Ecuador. Where did you land on these?
I have Ivory Coast in this one. The market is saying Norway is significantly the better team. I disagree. I think this is very 50-50. I have some Ivory Coast to advance. I think the draw is a fair play on that one. I know a lot of people are playing the over in that one because Norway's defense has been so suspect. But to me, I think they're going to have to play a more conservative style if they want to kind of they know just as well as everybody else does that is their limitation. I don't think they're coming into this match with the idea that we need to score 3 goals to get a win. I think they're going to try to pick their chance more carefully, and I think Ivory Coast has the stronger midfield in this one too. So maybe a slight advantage for me for Ivory Coast as far as who's the better team, and for that reason, I like them to advance at price. France, Sweden, to me, not that interesting. I think France is clearly the better team, clearly going to come through. Market is all over this in terms of fair price. I would not get involved in that one. Just going to sit back and enjoy it. And then Mexico, Ecuador is another one that I'm closer to 50-50 than the market. I know that Mexico is tough to beat on home soil, but the Ecuador team certainly has enough quality defense to make this one a low scoring, entertaining drama. So if there's going to be a 0-0 that goes to extra time, I think it's probably Mexico, Ecuador. I'm going to play some exact 0-0 there, try to get a big number. And in general, I think that one's going to be decided by something fluky.
I'm doing the exact same thing I did yesterday, which is playing the draw and the 0-0 in games 1 and 3. So Norway, Ivory Coast. And then Mexico, Ecuador, both of those, skipping the France game. By the way, I skipped the middle game yesterday. That was, of course, a draw that I did not see coming in the Germany game. So, first and third, draw, and with a little bit of the 0-0 added in as well. The 0-0, if you will.
The 0-0.
Yeah, for real.
I'm saying it.
Get it together, boys.
That's right.
Don't make me chime in.
The old Chrissy Andrews. What is Nil's story? One of the great story times ever, which those who listen to the Betting Dork and Beating the Book podcast may remember. More with Drew on the other side. We will talk NBA trades. Got to get Drew to chime in on what he thinks about all of this stuff. We haven't had a chance to pick his brain on the big one last week with LaMelo, and then the Ja trade yesterday, and seismology next on A Numbers Game. Let's do it. You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Well, in case you haven't heard the news, the all-new VSiN NFL betting guide is out. Whether you're betting futures, win totals, division races, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Super Bowl odds, our guide helps you get ahead of the market before training camps begin. Inside, you'll find breakdowns of all 32 teams, projected win totals, best bets for VSiN experts, futures analysis, power ratings, and more. Get it today with our football special for just $175. The sooner you sign up, the more value you get with full access to everything we do across every sport through the Super Bowl. That includes daily best bets, real-time betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, AI-powered prop projections, and 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe now. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Drew Dinsick, kind enough to join us for a second segment, as per usual. On a Tuesday, we were just talking off air about, usually June 30th, July 1st, a dearth of sports to talk about, but that is just so not the case now with the World Cup and obviously Wimbledon in full swing. Drew, speaking of our NFL betting guide, go ahead.
Yeah, good. I was going to tell you a quick story. I forgot to mention this during World Cup, but the listeners can cheer along for. I have a big slump buster at risk today, and that is if we could just get Norway out of this tournament, just send Norway home. Just send them home. You know why? Because Erling Haaland would lead Norway in goals scored, and I could cash all of the slump buster bets I made on Haaland to be Norway's top scorer. If I'm not worried about that losing. If Norway progresses, I would just like those bets graded. That would just I would appreciate I would appreciate those cleared from the pending and having that money back in the account.
Drew, I need Norway to make the quarters first. Okay, I need Norway to make the quarters.
You need them to get to the quarters.
Yeah. Then you can have that money. Okay, then you. Can
live with it for. I can live with that balance at stake for another week.
I will say though,
I'll accept it.
The over 3.5 goals. That was. I loved that bet. That was the easiest cash I've ever had, man. That was nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. I can't tell you how it's been funny watching people celebrate the low hanging fruit of like the Mbappe 2+ parlayed with Messi 2+ parlayed with Haaland 2+. Like that. It's been fun to see people celebrating and looking at those prices, and I'm just like. I just get me Haaland, top scorer for Norway across the finish line, and I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain. Everything else is golden. Everything else is fine.
It's what I love about any bracket betting, where it's whether it's NCAA March Madness Survivor, where it's like a multi-layered puzzle that you have to figure out. Is the Haaland most goals for Norway the one that you were surprisingly even to yourself very loaded on? Yeah. Yeah,
well, not surprising to myself. It was a matter of on one of the coldest runs of my life in May, I couldn't find a winning bet to say anywhere, then I was like, look, I just gotta get a winner home here, and flipped open and I was surprised by the limits. I mean, obviously, like the liquidity in these World Cup pools is just absolutely it's stunning. Like seeing the limits you can get on a single bet on some of these markets is just like. This is amazing. And sure enough, Haaland, he was minus 300 to lead Norway in goals scored. My back of the envelope price was like minus 1,000. And I was like, okay, this is the one. This is the one that ends the slump. So I'm sticking to the gills on that one. And I need that grade.
Let's go.
I could use that graded as soon as humanly possible.
That's what I meant. Staked to the gills. That was the phrase I was looking for. All right. By the way, NFL, we just talked about our guy. Do you have any NFL bets? Have you made any yet?
Best bet on the board. Bengals, AFC right now.
Oh, okay.
It's a good team.
Right.
And they're being priced like they're in the second or third tier. I don't. I mean, it's not uncommon for me to have a kind of a narrow book in the NFL in the month of end of June, early July. I'm mostly only swinging on huge price because the liquidity is going to be locked up for 7 months, 8 months. Yeah. So you might as well get your money's worth if you are going to go that route. And I don't usually win these bets, but can find some way to get something out of them. Had the Jags a couple years ago at 30-1 when they were like, they were like in the hunt for the 1 seed as they're coming down the wire. I think they didn't end up making the playoffs. My memory serves me. But I think Bengals are, they look to me like a team that people are going to figure out how is the fewest number of questions and holes across the AFC, potential darlings, everybody in the AFC who has a good enough quarterback to consider to win the conference has warts. And to me, at least, the Bengals look like they have a bit of a gift of a schedule combined with the fewest number of warts on the roster. Obviously, I don't love their coaching, but that coaching staff has their backs against the wall. I don't think they can afford to fiddle F around to start the season. They are going to have to come out with some pretty, I think, inspired game plans early on, get the momentum going. And then Bengals, if they're in the hunt for the 1 seed, I think we're going to get a good equity out of that bet. So Bengals to win the AFC, I think, is probably the only bet I would really stump for across everything in the NFL right now.
Real quick, because I want to save some time for your reaction to the NBA trades, but you are a seismologist by day.
Yes.
We've got a lot of questions on this, so I want to make good on this and ask you, because folks are wondering, is this unusual global earthquake activity? Are you alarmed in any way by this? Are the aliens behind this? All of those questions.
Oh, nice.
The alien part of it is the funniest part because if you are terminally online, like many of us are, The day that the double of earthquakes down in Venezuela happened, there was just this kind of nonstop, out of nowhere nonsense doom trolling about aliens were going to arrive. And then it turned out that the earthquake stole the show on that day, and so that's why there's any connection at all. The overall worldwide frequency of earthquakes is in no way, shape, or form influenced by a small sample of recent earthquakes, and nothing that has happened in the last month indicates that there is any type of global shift in the tectonic regime. So no one's worried about anything. What this should tell you, and what this kind of was the key takeaway for me, was the building code and kind of building code adherence, state of inspections and testing and engineering in Venezuela is woefully it's woefully under carried out, and they had weak buildings that were subject to extreme damage from moderate shaking. The buildings, the type of ground motions we designed for here in Los Angeles, where I am, and San Francisco, where you are, is much stronger than the recorded shaking that knocked down all of the buildings in Venezuela. They have a specifically difficult regime to build in because it's such a deep sedimentary basin that amplifies the medium and long period ground motions. That tends to really kind of specifically hit those type of 20-story buildings right in the sweet spot, to where they are they are really tested, and they were under reinforced. They collapsed. Many more people died than should have. And it was basically a failure of the kind of regulatory system in Venezuela, as far as I could tell you. So none of that would happen in America. None of that would happen in most developed nations. And it's a human tragedy that was entirely preventable. Sequence of earthquakes they had in Turkey in 2023 was more severe and caused substantially less human casualties. So it's a sad story, and kind of a good lesson for the engineering community on how important we should take our responsibilities.
Wow. Well said.
Well said, Drew Dinsick.
Yeah. Of course, there is a voice in my head that says the people who believe it was the aliens behind all of it are saying, of course he would say that. He doesn't understand what's happening. So
or I'm covering it up.
Well.
Yes. Yeah,
that's right. You're covering it up.
Part of the cover up. Yep.
Yeah. Real quick, Ja to the Blazers, but more importantly, LaMelo to the T-Wolves, Naz Reid to the Hornets. What say you?
None of those really moved the needle for me. I get it why the Timberwolves did what they did. They needed to shake things up. This raises their potential ceiling. But I would also imagine this raises the potential for Chris Finch to have a heart attack. I don't think that there's any world where the chemistry in that locker room is constructive. More earthquake terms: constructive interference, destructive interference. The Knicks were an example of constructive interference. Those players had so much chemistry and played so well together that they were greater than the sum of the parts. If that happens in Minnesota, I will be shocked. So ultimately, I doubt that it has any, bears any fruit, but I understand why they did it. Kawhi to the Raptors is maybe the one that would move the needle a little for me. That would put them in the top 3 in the East, in my opinion. So I got my eye on that one.
Yeah, as Kelley was saying off air, Eastern Conference, much different in terms of moving of the needle than anything going on in the West. Thank you, Drew. You're the best. Appreciate it, man. Drew Dinsick. Right here on A Numbers Game.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
$30 million in guaranteed prizes cashed in this football season in Las Vegas with 3 Circa Sports contests. Entry starting at $1,000, all with no rake. None. No rake whatsoever. That's the differentiator. That means every dollar stays in the prize pool. Circa Million, of course, 18 weeks, 128 ways to win. Circa Survivor, pick one winner each week. Last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo for the high rollers, $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. 30 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details. Which ones are you entering this year, Kelley?
I was going to say all of them, but I guess not grandissimo. Actually, I can't.
I was going to say, wow.
Gil, I can't count that one out. Actually, there is someone trying to twist my arm to get involved in that. That is, I don't think it's going to happen, but there's someone trying for that.
Does his name rhyme with lat frown?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was just curious. What a guess, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We get tweets at Beating the Book. Brendan. I'd rather break a limb than listen to 1 minute of Golic and Golic. Hey, they're nice guys. Stop it. Sean's Fox plays. No love for the must-see event tonight where the best player isn't going to play? Isn't the Commissioner's Cup played in Vegas too? Have you ever attended a W game since you lived in Vegas? Yes. Well, by the way, what Sean is referring to is the Aces at the Liberty tonight in the W. Commissioner's Cup. No Asia Wilson. She's not playing. And yes, I have attended a W game. I saw an Aces game last year. As a matter of fact, I've seen a couple Aces games while in Vegas. Kelley, have you ever been?
I have not been to one. Don't ask me why. I don't. It's like right up the road. I should. It's in the summertime.
Sexism, perhaps.
No, perhaps not.
Johnny Ringo. Breaking news: inspired by the World Cup, NFL playoff overtime will now be decided via field goal, starting at the 35, moving back 5 yards each kick until a winner is decided. Yeah, that's exactly it.
See, any of this stuff I could get into. I mean, I guess I would be tired of that if I saw it over and over and over again. But I'd be down for that for one time. Remember, whatever happened to the cool Pro Bowl things, right? Like that belonged in the cool. Remember when they used to do the 40-yard like races? And they'd have like 8 guys racing each other. They'd do the bench press competitions and everything. Like this is where that belongs. It's actually a good idea.
I Heart SEC podcast. Oh, he's with you, Kelley. He says, man, I had all the American Gladiator action figures. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, man.
They had action figures?
Of course they did. Laser, Malibu, Gemini, Diamond. I swear, these are all real names. Anybody can fact check me on this. I could go for hours.
I never watched that show, but somehow I remember Malibu. Being one of their names.
Oh, yeah.
Scrabble star Gill. So if a soccer player heads in a goal at the start of a game and then wins it late with a second one after the sun sets, is that a day-night doubleheader? My apologies, he says. I think he's going to show himself out. Oh, and James Giuliano. Is it James Juliano or James Giuliano? James at Always in Action on Twitter. You guys are not only are you the best listeners in the game, you're also the most observant listeners in the game. James says, what's with the notepad over Gill's right shoulder? Is it blocking a Kenny Rogers roaster sign? No, it is not blocking a Kenny Rogers roaster sign, but that is very observant of you. The reason that we put the notepad up here is that there is a side of a building where when it is sunny, it reflects so strongly off of it that it ruins the shot. So we had to throw up a notepad there. That's a little inside baseball, but good of you to notice, James. That's why that's there.
Yeah, good job, James. I didn't even notice that's when it changed. Now I'm thinking though, we got to go like local TV with it, Gill. We got to do some over the shoulder graphics or something. You know, we got to make that green. I'm gonna need you to paint that green. I'll get Rob Moreno to whip up some graphics so we can throw on it throughout the show.
By the way, before we move on to what we want to talk about here with the World Cup and a couple props here, or a few props, can we just shout out Drew Dinsick for the last segment or two?
That was incredible.
If CNN is looking for like a seismology expert, why have they not called that dude? He's just perfection on that stuff.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I know we kind of joke around a little bit, make light of it a little bit with his other job, but I mean, tragedy that occurred, and that is, yeah, like you just said, a professional in that business, I think giving some great insight into that.
Yeah, that was pretty, it was a pretty sobering sort of commentary that so much tragedy was preventable. And you lived in Caracas for a while, right?
Yeah, I lived there for a year. And unfortunately, I don't think you need to spend much time there to recognize the potential issues that were there. I mean, we left right when the hurricane happened and Chavez took over right at the same time. I mean, this same thing, hurricane happens there and you're in it's a city that's basically in a valley with big mountains and you've got a bunch of housing built up on these mountainsides. It's just not very stable. And the mudslides happen all the time. It's terrible. And like Drew said, it's really sucks to witness when you know these things are preventable. And as you said, Gil, I think you said this on air. The things we don't realize how good we have it in the U.S.
Yeah, I said it all fair, but we take so much for granted.
Right. Yeah.
DJ Jams, hey Gill, are you betting any live tennis? I just lit money on fire all morning chasing Cerundolo to come back, and he ended up losing 3-0. I guess that's what I get for betting live tennis without actually watching the match. I'm not doing it while the show's going on, obviously. To be honest with you, I don't do as much live tennis betting as you might imagine I would. Just because I spend so much time handicapping it pre-flop, right, pre-match, that if I started doing live betting, it would just overtake my life, especially early in Wimbledon. So not as much as you would think. I do dabble in it. I used to do it much more live than I do now. Remember, only bet them on commercials, boys and girls, because you run the risk of being dealt or having stale lines up when you're betting them. To the World Cup, Kelley, let's look at a few of these. Danny Higgins scouring. Taking a page out of your scouring notebook and scouring and finding these at, I want to say they're both at FanDuel and DraftKings.
Yeah, but a lot of places have these up. Yeah.
Yeah. Name the finalist odds. The trick here, though, is they sort of paired up any two sides randomly, right? So Argentina and France, you could bet as a duo at 5-1. That's the short shot on the board. Those are two of the favorites in the entire market, or the two favorites, along with some others, but those are the two short shots to win the whole thing. Brazil, France, and England and France next at 8-1 respectively. And then you see all sorts of other pairings on your screen right now. It appears as priced well as it can be. I do sort of bring up Norway. I know we talked with Drew about, he wants Norway to get bounced so he can cash his Holland most goals for Norway bet. I would imagine there's a bunch of folks who think if you're in the Norway camp that maybe there's a Norway pairing that's off screen here that you might want to gravitate towards. I don't have a particular play here. I'm curious if you do.
Wow. Do you get the vibe that they are like kind of the most popular next team? I guess. Yes. I guess I do too. I haven't really thought about it that way though. Colombia on the board there. That's notable, I guess. Morocco is too, but they just won. I actually kind of do. So I did bet Argentina to make the semifinals. I think you want to focus on that side of the bracket first, in my opinion. I still think that's the easier side. This is something that Drew talked about ahead of the World Cup, about it possibly breaking out this way. It looks like it could be Argentina, England kind of on a collision course on that side. So I think if there is one of those teams, whether it's Argentina or England that you prefer, I think it would be picking one of them and then whoever is your favorite on the other side, which is probably France or Spain. So I don't know how far you'd want to go down this board, Gill. But I have France futures already. I think like England and France at 8-1 is kind of jumping out to me. But I think Argentina, France being the short shot makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think England, France 8-1 is about as good a number as you're looking at on that board. The group stage one is a little more interesting to me. Which group will the champion emerge from? In other words, that's a pretty interesting market because again, tournament group winner odds, Group I, which features not only France, but also Norway. And for some people think Senegal's pretty darn good side as well. That is the short shot at plus 210. In other words, the eventual World Cup champ comes from this group. Makes sense why Group I would be the short shot. I would point to Group K at 10-1. There are some folks, if you believe in Portugal or if you believe in Colombia, if you looked at the outright market of winning teams, right? So just who will win the World Cup, the group that gets to two teams the quickest would be that. Does that make sense? Portugal and Colombia would be the first in that outright market that has two sides. So I do point you to Group K, Portugal, Colombia, Congo, and Uzbekistan, 10-1. Some people might gravitate towards that, but I do understand why Group I is the short shot with France, Norway, and Senegal.
Wait, say that again, Gill. They'd be the first group, to two?
So in other words, if you went to the outright market of just who's going to win the World Cup,
gotcha. Okay.
The first group you'd get to that has two, if you went in order of the odds, the first group to have two teams would be, in terms of the shortest odds, you'd get to Group K first, right? Colombia would be the second team amongst groups, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. Group C's jumping out to me too, right? You get Brazil and Morocco 6-1. And the Group I, France and Norway. If you got a France ticket like me, add on Norway. They're fun.
Yeah. Anyway, different ways, so many different ways to bet the World Cup. Mark Borchard on baseball next on a numbers game right here at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on a numbers game. Gill Alexander live from San Francisco. Kelley Bydlon back in Las Vegas at the mothership Circa Resort Casino, I should say, atop the sports book. Kelley was off air, was going through this heartfelt, like he was tapping his soul about what he thinks the Portland Trailblazers are up to, because they just re-signed Robert Williams to a multi-year deal too. Kelley's speculating deeply about everything. And then Mark Borchard comes chiming in off the top rope, and he says, and he just interrupts you. Were you offended by the fact that he has no interest in basketball talk?
Mark Borchard could never offend me, Gill. And you know what? He even though he did interrupt me, I guess he didn't single me out. He let us know immediately that he cannot stand all of the NBA talk on the entire network. So he didn't just single me and our show out, okay?
Mark Borchard joins us now, courtesy of the Aggressive Guest Line. No, I didn't mean to say that. He's a blanket anti-NBA talk because there's so many baseball games he said on today. Mark, good morning.
Gil, here's the whole thing, though. I didn't do it. I was silent, letting you guys, have your discussion, because you guys got to talk about big things. It's a big show. And so your producer put me in. So I will not take credit for interrupting Kelley, but I will take credit for saying that every time I hear basketball on the network, for all these guys who are doing the programming, I turn away. So let's do more baseball, less basketball on the network.
This will, by the way, this like fiefdom thing will never end, right? Because like some people are in certain corners so steadfastly, can't imagine how the other people like that other stuff. This is what makes the world go around. But since you're here, let's talk baseball, man. And it's what I love about you is that you are willing to jump into things we talk about, specifically these monthly win markets. July begins tomorrow. A special numbers game investigation reveals that July begins tomorrow, and you have run your numbers on July most wins.
It's so great, Gil. I love this monthly market. So props to, was it Biggio over there? Is that the guy who started it at Caesars? What a cool market it is. And talk about like seeing life from a blinder standpoint. I'm just coming out of an hour and a half worth of Monte Carlo simulations for July. And get this, Gil, my first post of the year on BaseWinner.com. And I've got some plays I'm going to give out here. But I also got some other plays on the post. So you guys, if you can check out the post, let me know if you like the post. I'll post more for you guys. It'd be great.
I love it. Okay, so you ran the numbers for July, and again, we still have, what is it? How many hours we got? We got 15 hours left to make your bets before July starts, but actually games don't start at midnight, so you got more time to put in your July bets. They are available at William Hill Caesars. They are available now at Circa. Remember, William Hill Caesars ties for most wins is a dead heat. At Circa, tiebreakers rule, fewest losses will be the first tiebreaker. Best run differential will be the second tiebreaker in case teams end up with the most wins at the end of July. And by the way, one last shout out to the Miami Marlins, who crushed the month of June. They have already clinched. Not a single person at either shop had a ticket on the Marlins in the month of June, Mark. So what did you come up with, sir, for July?
Well, it's a little bit chalky, but I don't care. The Dodgers I have winning the month 18.9% of the time. So they should be priced according to all those sims at plus 428, and they're in the market at plus 650. So that's a good play. And then another favorite, I got two more that I'm not going to give out, but I'll tell you the other one that I like too. The Mariners, I've got them at 7.6% to win, and they're priced at 20-1. So they should be about 12-1 roughly. And then I'm going to give you a bomb, Gil. the Orioles. Okay, I got them 2.85% to win the month of July, and so that should be plus 34-1. Is the 34-1 odds that what it should be? They're 90-1. So that's the bomb. And there's a couple. There's actually I have 4 more bombs there. It's really an interesting simulation. There was a lot of teams that had somewhat of a chance to win it, and I will make a comment about your Boston play because. Yes. I think it was a good play. I've got them they should be 54-1. So I think you bet it at 80-1 or something. So that's a good play. But now I think all the people that all the money that you guys poured into the market, I know you and Kelley went over there and bet a brick, and now it's down. So I wouldn't recommend that.
My brick, if you can call it that, moved it to 60-1, and I saw circa at 25-1. So I'm with you, 25-1, different story. But if you get a longer number than that, that's a whole different thing. So the Red Sox were not one of your 4 other bombs that you are not disclosing.
No, they're not. They're okay. Because I have them at 54-1. And so they're 30-1 now, but I mean, they really, I guess it goes to show you, and hopefully we can popularize this. This is really cool. The reason I like it is because, I can't tell you, I've got the Dodgers shirt on. So I've lost 4 back-ended parlays where the Dodgers have been minus 200 or more, right? And Ohtani on the mound, Glasnow on the mound, and that is super frustrating. So I think that, playing the month kind of takes out a little bit of the variance out. And it's a cool market. I'm elated, as you can tell, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, listen, again, there's going to be people who listen to the show like, wow, they talk about that monthly market thing a lot. The reason that we do is because of sort of what you're talking about, which is, first of all, it does 2 things. One, you don't have to sweat daily baseball. As you said, you don't have to lose on a -2 or whatever you're playing, right? Whatever the gut-wrenching bullpen implosion of the day is, you don't necessarily have to live through that on a daily basis. But the other thing is, baseball is 162 games. The regular season lasts 6 months. For those of us who do content, it is a really sort of controlled way of allowing us to enjoy the baseball slog in the way that we wouldn't if we had to be mired in. You and I know, this, my whole life for years, right? Every summer was baseball every single day, handicapping every single game, betting baseball like I do tennis now. Tennis is my daily thing now. And tennis is a 365-day-a-year job. Baseball, I need to parse it out like this. And it really helps you, by the way, understand the ebb and flow of teams as a season goes on too, in a way that you might not otherwise if you're not involved in these markets. And oh, by the way, we're trying to win money in the meantime and have won one of these already. So, all of the above.
Gill, I'm looking right now at the Mark Borchard post, BaseWinner.com. Go check it out. I know he just teased it a little bit, but there is a 100-1 shot in there for the month that Mark has priced at about 13-1. So might want to go check that out, BaseWinner.com.
Whoa. Good tease, Kelley.
I love it, Kelley. Thank you. I'll listen to your basketball now. I'm not going to turn the channel after you said that.
Mark, here's the truth. Mark said, I'm going to go listen to Hardwood Handicappers now. I guess I should. And Kelley goes, don't worry about it. I'm not on it. That's what he said.
Summertime. We're doing occasional ones. Okay?
Spoken like a true industry professional. I love it, Kelley.
That's right. All right. What did you land on today, Mark?
I'm going to play the Orioles, and I've played the run line a little bit more, and it's actually been pretty good for me over the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to take the Orioles, one of my bomb teams in July, but it's not going to count because it's still June today, Gill. But I like a -1.5 plus 140. I'm just playing against Fetty. I've got 148 pitchers ranked in the starting the 1 through 5 guys. And he's my 147th ranked pitcher. So it looks like he's not even going to bulk today. It looks like he's going to get the start. And so I'm going to go with Baltimore -1.5. And then I'm going to play them with the aforementioned Mariners. Brian Wu, for me, is a top 50 pitcher. But more importantly, the Mariners' second offense in baseball. And that kind of comes out into the calculus of the monthly projections as well, against the 30th ranked offense of the Angels. So I think putting them in a parlay, Baltimore, Seattle, is a good idea. It's a plus 163. Baltimore, Seattle, just a straight money line parlay, and then Baltimore minus 1.5 on the run line, Gill.
Somewhere Steve Fezzik's head is exploding. He's like, this Borchard, such an intelligent guy. And then he throws out a parlay. Drives him crazy. But these have worked for you.
They haven't, and the whole thought, and I should really make it. I have one post on my site right now from this year. I should make the parlay the second post because there's some compelling arguments to play the parlay. So, and I have the post made, so maybe I'll do that in the next week, Gil.
Okay. Well, let's Fezzik counterpoint with you. The Marlins won June. You know who the worst team in June was, Mark? The New York Metropolitans. But you like them today.
I do. I think McLean has some pretty good underlying numbers. They're a slight dog, plus 105. If you look at McLean's stuff plus number, and this is kind of more of a granular number, it's in the 87th percentile. And then Gausman's in the 56th percentile. Not bad, but still 56th percentile. And then if you're looking at McLean's strikeout percentage, it's 29.6 over his last 150 plate appearances, and that's in the 96th percentile. So you've got some good numbers there. I think that the Mets, from an offensive standpoint, are still a little bit underrated. They got Lindor back. I've got them top 5, and they're going against a Toronto offense I've got ranked 18th, Gil.
Okay. Mark, appreciate it. Earmuffs, because we're going to talk about NBA next. Just want to warn you.
Oh,
thank you, Mark.
I'm dialing in.
Appreciate
I'm going to hang up with you. I'm turning on Sirius Radio.